Maar so voor ek wil begin, om daarbij aan te sluit, dis nie vir my moeilik om voor mense te praat nie, van kleins af en wat nooit vir my moeilik gewees nie. En dis nie vir my moeilik om te lei of mense te organise en amper voor jy rond te shantie. So, daar's 'n tyd waar ek alleen geglo het, dat ek dit reg kry om goeders te doen en mense te lei en goed te organise, net omdat ek so sterk persoonlikheid het. Ek dwing basies mense om te doen wat ek wil. Dis wat ek geglo het. Daai ding is intussen al gebreek, maar elke keer wanneer ek 'n geleentheid kry soos hierdie, dis so maklik om hierdie te organise, en dan net voor die tyd dat ek nou actually moet praat, dan kom daai stemmetjie alleen net vir my sê, jy kom praat nie omdat mense na jou wil luister nie, jy het net vir jouself vir die geleentheid geskep. En ek wil net soos, voordat ek begin, net ook sê dat dit wat ek nou gaan praat, 'n call to action, dis letterlik wat ek moet doen om hier voor te kom staan. Dus elke keer moet ek daai ding net gaan smoor, want in my vlees is ek te swak, en dan gaan ek hier kom staan, en ek gaan geïntimideerd voel deur dit. Ja, so ek wil net in Jesus naam dit weer breek, Helene, wat ek nie glo nie in my lewe nie.
Yes.
Okay, so the final session is call to action. And we're going to flip the script a little bit, because all day we've been focusing on ourselves and equipping ourselves. We're talking about tools to equip ourselves, but there's more. Before I start, I just want to share a verse, 2 Corinthians 8 verse 5. It says, "And they exceeded our expectations. They gave themselves first of all to the Lord, and then by the will of God also to us." So I just want to make that clear. It is first of all to the Lord. And like Toby also said now, he wants our full attention, first of all. But there's more. So I brought my toolbox just to fit in with the theme. And who has a toolbox at home? Or something resembling a toolbox? Some of us have a whole tool shed. And Rob has a very nice tool shed in there. Yeah, so in the toolbox, what do you have? You have your tools. Maybe you have a hammer, tape measure, some screwdrivers, nails, and the list goes on. What do you do with tools? What do you use them for? You build something. You make something. So for instance, let's take for instance a chair. Very simple chair. But say for instance you take that chip toolbox. I'm just going to close the toolbox for now and move it out of the way a bit. Otherwise my problems are going to get too many. Okay, so we've got a chair. You use your tools to build a chair, right? Plain and simple. And then you decide to go and sit on the floor next to your chair. That doesn't make sense, does it? When you have the tools and you build something, you're supposed to use it for what it's built for. You're not going to put the chair in the corner. You're going to sit on the chair. But why sometimes do we do that in our spiritual lives, guys? In our spiritual lives, we are always figuring out new tools to equip ourselves and build ourselves up, which is great. We go to Bible school, we attend courses, church, small groups, we read up, we listen to sermons, we use up reading, Bible, prayer, quiet time, all these things that we've spoken about today, which is amazing, like I said in the first verse that I read. But then you don't sit on the chair, you don't use it. It's not just for us. So we're not supposed to just feed ourselves and become fat cats. We're supposed to do something with what we've received. But why don't we always do it? There's something that's preventing us from it. And I'm just going to read us in Luke 10, verse 25, the very well-known part about the Good Samaritan. I'm just going to read through this whole piece. Okay, so there's this expert in the law that comes up and asks Jesus a question. He says, Teacher, what must I do to get eternal life? And Jesus said to him, what is written in the law? What do you understand from it? The man answered, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, all your strength and all your mind. Also, love your neighbor the same as you love yourself. Jesus said, your answer is right. Do this and you will have eternal life. But the man wanted to show that the way he was living was right. So he said to Jesus, but who is my neighbor? To answer this question, Jesus said, a man was going down the road to Jerusalem, from Jerusalem to Jericho, and some robbers surrounded him, tore off his clothes, beat him, and then they left him lying there on the ground, almost dead. It happened that a Jewish priest was going down the road. When he saw the man, he did not stop to help him. He walked away. And next the Levite came near. He saw the hurt man, but he went around him. He would not stop to help him either. Just walked away. And then a Samaritan man traveled down the road. He came to the place where the hurt man was lying. He saw the man, and he felt sorry for him. And the Samaritan went to him, and he poured olive oil and wine on his wounds. And then he covered the man's wounds with cloth. And the Samaritan had a donkey, and he put the hurt man on his donkey, and he took him to an inn, and there he cared for him. The next day the Samaritan took out 2 silver coins and gave them to the man who worked at the inn. He said, take care of this hurt man. If you spend more money on him, I will pay it back to you when I come back again. And then Jesus said, which one of these 3 men do you think was really the neighbor to the man who was hurt by the robbers? And remember, in the Jewish context, the Samaritans were outcasts. The teacher of the law answered, the one who helped him. And Jesus said, then go and do the same. So just like the priest and the Levite, we are all well equipped. And yes, we have a lot of things going on in our lives, and none of us are perfect. But if you're sitting here and you're able to attend this camp, and you live in George, you're privileged enough to be, and you're equipped enough. So they probably had good excuses to just pass by. They were probably in a hurry to get somewhere important, some teaching or they had to attend to a service or whatever. So they probably had good excuses. And we so often have good excuses to avoid these opportunities or these coincidences, or like Uncle Rob taught me, God incidences. God placed these moments in your life, and it's your choice if you're going to be the Samaritan or the Levite or the priest. But there's things that are preventing us from stepping up. And what are these things? It's probably things like pride, which is a theme that popped up earlier today. It's apathy, it's passivity. And COVID now is really a time where passivity is really an issue, because it's so easy to just stay at home because you asked to do so. It's guilt or shame from a past experience or some baggage and sin you're carrying with you. That's something that can be an excuse. Or it's fear of failure or rejection. That again ties into pride, and that's often a problem for us as men. And it's a fear of public opinion. You want to have a polished appearance as a man. You want to have that perfect image of what the world sees as a man. We're so afraid sometimes to let the world see our vulnerability, or taking a chance where we can actually fail. Low self-esteem or self-belief is something that's a legit problem and an excuse sometimes, but it remains an excuse because God is bigger than that. And He's bigger than your shortcomings and our shortcomings. So then there's other things. I'm too busy. I'm not ready. It's not for me. It's not my calling. It's not my ministry. Someone else will do it. Someone else will be called for that. And you walk by the God incidences. But Jesus said, and if you watch The Chosen, this will be visual in your head. Just get up and follow me. And that's it. Don't go off and prepare yourself and be perfect. Just get up, follow me. Right. And He also said, whatever you do to the least of these, you also do unto me. And that's what Jesus said. And we, after singing all those songs, how can we not want to give Him everything? And giving Him everything is also giving everything to other people, and not to just keep it to ourselves.